can find at CarolJo's.com. CarolJo's.com is an online jewelry and accessory business for women. We make all kinds of jewelry with different items, you know, like the beads here. We can use your different things you can find around the house, like little backsplash tiles. We can do washers. Just do all kinds of stuff to make jewelry. So on the social medias, we're live tonight on YouTube and on TikTok. I do more than just sell the jewelry. I honestly don't sell much of the jewelry here online or on social media. Hi, Geraldine, as I do on my website. But what we do here is that we do chat times twice a week. We do tutorials twice a week, and we have bead sales of different items up for grabs. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. And do different types of sales of the beads so that you can create jewelry. Tonight is a tutorial night. I don't even have the bracelet over here. Oh, I gotta grab it so that you guys can see what we're making. I was measuring it to make kits and I forgot to grab it back over here. We're going to be making what we call the Free Spirit Circle bracelet. This is going to be using eye pins. So this is eye pins here. Get the eye pins. You will also be using beads of whatever you would like, your choice. I named it handy. You're going to need 2 6mm split rings and then a toggle for your closure. The reason why we're calling it the Free Spirit Circle is because it will be used in a way that we can, hold on. There we go. Sorry. I was bringing up my backup account and it was echoing. But the Free Spirit Circle bracelet is a way to layer your bracelets to give you sometimes that boho look. So I named this bracelet. This is just what I'm going to call it here on my channel. So just to let you know, that is what it is. Hi, Rose. How are you? You know what? I got to check something on the calendar really quick. I just thought of something. Nope, never mind. It's not this Monday, next Monday. I was thinking it was going to be Subscriber Monday. It is easy to make, Andy. At least I think it is. But I want to give some thoughts on this before we begin, okay? So, and some things, tips and tricks too, about making it. But I also want to see if Rainbow, hi Rosie, Rainbow was having a hard time getting in, and she is not in. So I'm going to see if I can share this to her. I need to find her. There, I'm going to search. There she is. I'm going to send it. Okay, we're going to see if we can get her in here. It hasn't. Hi, everybody. Hi, Danielle. Hi, MGG. Hi, the Kylie channel. It hasn't been notifying her that I'm live, and so she's missed a few lives, and so she's been messaging me. We're trying to figure out why. Yes, you can use a lobster closure instead of the toggle, and that is one of the things that I was going to talk about. So great segue. I don't answer that type of question, Lewis. Sorry. This is family orientated. And so, thank you, Kylie, for subbing. So what's some of the, hi, Arman for Iran. I'm in the United States. I'm going to get going here on our tutorial and talk about that. Some of the things to think about. When you are wearing a bracelet, I have found that for me personally, stretchy and toggle bracelets are easier for me to put on than the lobster clasp. This one, no, this is not boxes. This is my beads here, MGG. This is my bead collection. And I just realized I do not have my ring light on for those on YouTube. So hold on, I'm going to turn that on so it's not so dark for you. There, that's a lot better. So yes, I am in America, in South Dakota. It's one of the states in the US. So it's kind of in the middle of the Midwest is where I'm at. So yeah, no, these are my bead collections, my trays of beads. I've got lots of them behind me here. But one of the things, like I was saying, I have a hard time with getting a lobster clasp on. Some people can do it, and some people can do it really well with, sometimes they have these bracelet help. They help you put your bracelets on and stuff, and they can do that. I just choose not to do that all the time. And so I do a lot of toggles and stretchy. So today is a toggle day. So that's why I chose that. That is a preference. And so it really comes up to a preference of what people wear. When I do when I used to do in-person shows a lot, stretchy sold more than the wire. And with the wire, the toggle sold more than the lobster class. You got here, Rainbow. All right. So it helped me if I shared that with you. So that's what I want to like point out as one of the things and the reasons why I went with the toggle. Okay. And I literally was going to put that in there. You just like segued right into my spiel here. So thank you. But it really, you can go with either way. So that's what you're going to use for the closure. You will either use a lobster clasp, the toggle, and there's a couple other of the closures that you could use. I would not recommend the barrel where you have to twist it on and off. That one I would not recommend at all for this. And it's just because you've got the wires in there, and I just don't want them to be all crinkled up. And what I mean by that is if I had to sit here and turn this wire, it's going to cause this to wrap around each other. So that's the one I would say to stay away from. Thank you. I don't think I have an accent, but everybody tells me I do. And so that is what we have for the closure. Now, I talked about we're going to use the eye pin. The reason why we were using the eye pin on this one is because last week when we had the eye pins up for sale, someone has asked about making bracelets with the eye pins. And like, how would you make a bracelet? Because you can make a necklace and you can make earrings with the eye pins. So like, for example, on the earrings, you would, do your beads and then the eye pin hole or the loop would be here and you can dangle down. Hi, Deborah. Hi, and is it Amira? Is that how you pronounce it? If I didn't say it right, please let me know. And so you can make them into earrings. You can do this same technique here that we're going to learn for the bracelet on the necklace. Thank you. This is like literally my natural hair. I did nothing with it today. So thank you for saying that. And so when you look at this, I'm just going to hold this up and see how that can just lay there like that. And you can just have it. It just to me looks stunning depending on the colors you pick. And you can add that to the layered look necklaces that we've been talking about too. So what I'm going to teach you here with eye pin, you can do it as a necklace or a bracelet. One thing that, because the eye pin has already got the one side done, I do not use my one-step looper to create these. And the reason being is one side of this already has the loop, and you want the other side to have about the same size loop for consistency. If I used my one-step looper, even that 1.5, it is too big for what is naturally already here on this loop. I'm going to get one out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this loop right here, that's smaller than a 1.5. I don't give it away. I take that back. I do give away some of the things that I make when we play our games, when we hit certain numbers. So like over here on TikTok, when we hit 10 shares and 10,000 likes, we start playing a game and someone will win something. I'm not going to give this one away anytime soon because this is going to also go into tomorrow's next tutorial I have. This plays a part in that one. So we're not going to give it away this week for sure. So the other thing, thank you, Miguel. We are talking about jewelry making. So the other thing to think about, you want to make them consistent. So that's what it is. The one thing with making these into a bracelet, you have to be very careful about how you're making it. And what I mean by that is that you do not want to leave any part of, oh, I give away here on YouTube if I'm on YouTube at the same time. You guys can play the game too. I just don't have a way to get to a way that we can play a game here or a way that we can get there. So we just use YouTube for it. But what I was gonna say is that you can't leave that loop open at all because then your bracelet will break apart. The other thing that you have to be very careful of with this style of bracelet using the eye pins is that, normally I wire wrap around it. And when I make these in bracelets, that's my norm for doing that, just to give it a little bit of extra strength in it. But because we were doing it with the eye pins, you can't do that. And so that is the only thing is that you really have to make sure you're getting your loops closed. So after every time, I'm sitting there fiddling with them, and you'll see when we're making this, I'll start moving it around. And sometimes even after that, you'll be like, okay, that one opened, I need to put it back together. I just want to tell you 100% up front, that's what I was like, what was happening when I was making this example. Another thing to get the consistent loops or get them somewhat consistent, because mine are not 100% consistent. It will be a guessing game that we do when we get there, and I will announce it when we are doing it. Thank you for the rose, Danielle. If you notice on my round nose pliers, I have a little black line. I'm going to show you over here. You see that black line right there? I put that on there with a Sharpie. And I ended up, I don't have that Sharpie over here, but we'll just use this one because my other Sharpie I have here is a big wide one, and this is too wide to do it. But you will put your line where you want to do it so that your loop will be the same. So that is the other tidbit of advice that I have. And so I'm going to put my line on right now because he is a little bit faded. Yeah, and we're just getting close. We're not going to be 100% consistent. You're right, Andy. So it's okay. So as you can see, I just made it a little bit darker. I already have two. Well, three. Sorry, three. So anyways, what we're going to do is I'm going to push you or put you guys down so that you can see what I'm doing as we're making this. So you'll be looking at my mat instead of at my face while we're working on this, okay? I'm going to put you down here. I'm going with YouTube first. And YouTube, I will not see comments while we are doing this when you're pointed down. TikTok, I can kind of see because I do have a backup account. I have to be looking at it to be like, okay, yep, we're good. All right. So you're going to see, here's our example. It is just all connected with that. So we have, like I said, I'm going to spill these out. We have our eye pins in one pile. We're going to take our beads in another pile. For the tools, I am going to use a round nose plier, like we talked about before. To cut off the ends, I have flush cutters. And then to help get everything in place, I'll either use the round nose plier or the flat nose or the chain nose pliers here. And then to help us get the split rings onto our closure, the toggle, I have the split ring pliers. So those are the tools that I need. Now to start this, you will take a head pin, or sorry, eye pin, not a head pin. Put a bead on it, just like so. You will take your pliers, or your round nose pliers. The first bend we're going to do will be right at the end. The reason why we're going to the end is that if I go up to where my line is at to do my first bend, I am going to have this much space. Let me get this close. The space from the tip to that black line will be extra space, and your bead will move around in there because there's not enough to hold it. But if I go to the very tip of my tool, do my 90 degrees away. Then when I go to reposition it, move it down to your line. See how I put this as a 90 degree in that angle? And I moved it down to my line. And at this point, you bring it around towards you until you can't move it anymore because the bead's in the way. You flip this up on top and bring it around. So you have a circle, and then you have this coming out 90 degrees from that circle. Okay. I will just hold it with, I don't hold it because I'm not wrapping it. I will keep doing that because I'm going to wrap. You don't have to wrap. You just go in here with your flush cutters and get that in there and cut that end off. There we go. No, we don't. I thought he cut, but he didn't cut. There we go. All right. Now we're going to look at our circle. Did our circle, I'm going to go on this side here. Is it completely closed? Do you see a gap in that circle at all? Jeez, that's really hard there on YouTube. Sorry. And this one doesn't have one. So the only thing I need to do is straighten it this way. So it's straight this way and not bent at an angle. So that is what you do. This is the first link. Second link in this, we're going to put our bead on the eye pin. Once again, we're going to go to the very tip, 90 degrees away. Reposition it on the line in there so you have a 45-degree angle. Come around the top till you hit that bead. Reposition this up on top on that line. There we go. And finish out your circle. Now, before we cut off the end, I connect it. Maybe. There we go. We got her. And then push that down. And then we're going to go in and we are going to cut off that tail. There we go. I'm having a hard time cutting these, and I even changed cutters. Now, here is an example. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not. There is a little bit of space. Yep, there you can see it. I'm going to show you here on, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it here. But there's a little bit of space. We don't want that space open. Thank you for the gift. I can't see who it is right now because that one is pointed down. There's not supposed to be any space. So I cut it off. Or I closed it up, I mean. Thank you, Allie. And then I just sit here and play around to see if it'll come out. They're not coming out, so I'm going to be okay. So we have 2 links now. Grab another bead. We're going to repeat what we just did for the second one all the way till we get almost to where we want to be for the length. The toggle is about 1 inch. So if you want an 8-inch bracelet, you're going to make this length to be about 7. So we got our 90 degrees, reposition 45 in that angle and come back around. Go up and around. Open it up a little bit. Add it to your link here. Close it up. And then we're going to cut it off. Not very many. I'll tell you in just a second, Lori. And I honestly do not know why these eye pins are stubborn about cutting. There we go. We got it all closed up, and there is another one. If you look at this bracelet, I'm going to bring the eye pins, Cherie, tomorrow night's TikTok bead sale. There is 15 6mm size beads on this one, and this is a 7 1/4 inch bracelet. So it only took 15. I can tell you how many bags I have. It's over there. I think I have like 20. Let me double check. I have 22 bags available for tomorrow night's bead sale. Okay. Hi, Michelle. All right, so we're going to do that again, very, very on the end, 90 degrees away from you. Then do that 45 on your line, and I'm not on the line, so let me back that up. There we go, and bring it around. Yep, it took 15 6mm for this example. Yep. So you're going to repeat this as many times as you need for it. But I also made it at about 7 1/4. And we're going to put that one on. We are going to close this up. He doesn't want to close with that. So then sometimes you have to get the good old chain nose pliers in there to close it. And then cut. There we have 4 links to it. There we go. Now you can see how 4 links. We're going to repeat again. We are making what I call the Free Spirit Circle Bracelet, where we use eye pins to connect a bead, to make a bead chain, to make a bracelet. Yep, that was 6mm. We did 15 beads. This bead here that I'm using this tonight is an 8 by 6mm rondelle. The other one, this one is a 6mm round. So I'm envisioning we may not need as many beads. Okay, be stubborn. There we go. And he's open a little bit, so I'm going to close that one down. There we go. And I don't like how this one looks. I want to cut off a little bit of that because I don't want anybody to get jabbed with it. There. He's just got a little point on him that I don't like. And these are brand new cutters. It's not the cutters. It is something with these head pins because I've done other things there. Whoop, I threw that one across the room. Whoop, there we go. I've cut other things with these today. These eye pins, man, they're stainless steel if I remember correctly, and I think that might be part of it. All right. 90 degrees on the end tip. Yep, they are. I'm like 99% without going and checking, but I think they are. And they are always harder to, they're usually harder to bend, but these are not hard to bend, but they are hard to cut. Hi, Beads Beads. Put that on. And I'm just like, dear Lord. Push that down, and then we're going to get the cutters. There we go. That one cut easy. Let's make sure. I'm going to push him down just a little bit. There we go. We are 6 links into this. So we're at least getting close to halfway done. When I made the example one, it took me about 10-15 minutes to make it without being interrupted. Just to let you know. While we're making them on the tutorials, we're talking and asking questions. So there we are with the 7th. So we're repeating steps 2, that second step, as many times as we need to make the length of the bracelet. There we go. If you guys could see my face, you'd be laughing every time I go to cut it. I'm like gripping down on my teeth. Oh, going, just cut, please cut. All right. I need to make my line a little bit darker. It's starting to wear off. All right. Did anybody ever have you teach to put the, use a Sharpie to put that on there? Hi, Kevin. Sorry, I am down. and I don't always see comments, so I'm not trying to ignore you. Because the bead store that I used to work at in Sioux Falls, they're the ones that taught to use that. Okay, you're welcome, Andy. All right, we're putting that one down, and then we're going to grab our cutters. Come on, cut. Now we got a stubborn cut. Go, 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 go. There we go. Whew. There. All right, we got 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Hey, it's Thankful Thursday, and I did get my Thankful Thursday post out right before the live. And after the live, you guys can laugh at me all you want. We talked about doing a motivational post every day just to have something uplifting. And yesterday's motivational post is out there. I just never posted it. So after this live, I'm going to post it. Because when I went to post the other one for Thankful Thursday, I was like, whoops, I forgot to do that part. So Wednesday's quote will just move to Thursday. And we just don't have a Wednesday. All right, there we go with another. All right, on the tip, 90 degrees away, 45 on the line. Bring it around, open it up, attach it to. Sure, Lori. I'll show ya. Cut. And sometimes it sounds like it's going to cut and it doesn't cut. There we go. Whew. Got it finally. Okay. What I'm doing, the head pin bead. The very tip of your round nose pliers, just get your eye pin right at the tip, as close as you can. You don't have to be right, you know, if that's all it is, that's fine. Do 90 degrees away. So I'm going to push it. It looks like it's going to go towards you guys, but for me, it's going away from me. It's Monday, Thursday. And then once you have that 90 degrees, so if you look at that, that is 90 degrees, well, just close, but 90 degrees from that, in that angle there. Now you're going to take the round nose pliers where we have that line. You're going to put that on there at 45 degrees. So that will create the circle. And then you take your finger and just bring this around using your finger to guide it. Then you get to a point where your bead is going to be hit, or your wire here is going to be hitting the bead. You just put this back on top on the line and then push it so that you create a full circle. And this one now is 90 degrees from the straight part of the head pin. Does that help you, Lori? And then you put this on this little guy. Close it up, grab the cutters, and cut off the end. You're welcome. There. Whew. We got that one easier. This one is up, so I'm going to close that in there and smush him down. So that's the one thing that with this bracelet, you're going to want to wiggle it as you're moving, or you're doing this. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle it. Wiggle these around. And what I'm wiggling is the circles, not the beads, but the circles inside each other. So you see where I'm wiggling? I'm moving those around. I'm trying to see if they're going to come out and pop open because I didn't get it shut good enough. It's just my checks and balances as I'm doing it. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. This will be 12. I'm going to grab the ruler. Now, with the ruler, even though this is the length of it, this one is only at 5 3/4 of an inch. That doesn't include the inside diameter. That's the outside edge of it. It just gives us a gauging point. So then we're going to take, I'm going to add more to it because I'm going to make this more than a 6 3/4 inch bracelet. And then we're going to put this here, bring this around, move it, and then bring it in there, and then open it up and add this link. I keep wanting to wire or do the wire wrap around, and I'm like, we're not doing that here tonight because it's just habit to do it that way for me. Okay, and that one is open, so I'm going to close him up. Bring him down. There we go. Add another one. I keep moving my tools way out of my reach, and I don't know why. I keep moving them further and further to the right. Reposition. There we go. Close that up. Cut it off. There, got it. He needs to be brought down. Let's see where we're at. We are at about 6.5 inches. So 6.5 inches, and then if we look at what the closure is here, and I measured it, and it's just right at about an inch. So if I were to stop right now, it would be a little bit less than 6.5 or 7.5 inches is the size of the bracelet. For me, that would be fine, but I don't have the same size wrist as most of you. And so I am going to add one more to this. Okay. And it's not going to be a 6.5 inch bracelet because I'm going to go get my bracelet sizer, and I'm going to show you what I mean by this. Hey, I found the end that went flying. Woohoo! Okay. So here is the links of the bracelets in here. If I put this one on there, the one that I made before, it's 7 1/4 inches. But if I lay it out and measure it this way, this measures 8 inches, just a hair under 8 inches. So about a 1/2 inch is taken up by the inside diameter of your beads, because that 6 millimeter bead isn't flush. It goes into the inside of the circle. So that is why you will make it a little bit larger than what you would like.
It's actually space.
Huh?
Oh, I was going to show you something.
Oh, okay. Are you taking my stuff?
No, I'm showing you something.
Oh, right
Can
here?
you see right here?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Hold on, Buttercup is showing me something. Holy buckets! You're getting good.
There's not enough space. But you had to, but like,
Do you want me to come downstairs after I'm done with my live and see it in your room?
Right now? It's going to be really fast.
No, I can't. I'm almost done. So give me 10-15 minutes, okay? I promise I will come down and see you. Okay. She's showing me some stuff that she's working on. All right. We're going to cut this end off. There we go. Oh, we're at 10.6. I am almost done with this part here. So can we hold off on just a moment before we do a giveaway? Okay, we are at 7. I want to do one more. And that will give us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That'll give us 15. It's going to be bigger than this one. There is a reason why I say that. Thank you. All right. And I will share the reason in a moment. Put this one on. Before I put the toggle on, we will do our giveaway. And I can do the toggle up. I don't have to be down here. I can show you that one up. So that one, I want you to just do the wire wrap. Hi, Miss Joya. There we go. Got that cut. Now we're going to press this down. Now before I go and move the cameras to do our giveaway and such, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to play around with this a little bit more just to make sure nothing's going to fall apart. There we go. All right, we're coming up to do our giveaway and then we will finish, okay? Oop, there we go. All right. There we go. We're back up. So we're going to do a color in the chat. Both TikTok and YouTube can do this. And when I have both of you doing it, it means that I don't pick out the prize yet of what we're going to do the giveaway until afterwards, just because I've got to watch both of you. All right, let's do the giveaway. And why isn't it letting me do the game? Holy buckets, what's going on? Don't take my game away. It's there, but it's not letting me do this. Now I really have to watch it. I'm trying, everybody. Just give me a second. None of the, oh, nope, that one came up. Hold on. Don't answer that question, everybody. I am trying to get the game up, and I was trying another game. It won't let me play it. I'm going to cry, okay? All right. I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper so that it's fair, and you guys don't think I'm just going to do it. But you won't see what that is until we have the winning. All right, in the chat, everybody, guess colors. And the first person to guess it right will be the winner. Now, this is a little bit difficult when I don't have my little thingy to do it. So go ahead and put colors in the chat. Oh, I think we got a winner. Yep, we do. It is Miss Joya. Today is 4/17. Okay. The color was orange. Right here I have orange. That was the color I picked. Sorry we couldn't do it the other way. Oh, I was almost going to end that game and it didn't start. So I can't end it. Okay. We have beet soup mix, which is just a mix of everything. Or, let me see what we got for a bracelet here. Hold on. Ooh. I'm trying out a new mascara, everybody, and I don't know if it's going to work because my eyes itch from it. All right, here is the bracelet option. We have the stretchy with the clear AB. You let me know, Miss Joya, which one do you want? Do you want the stretchy bracelet, or the bead soup mix? And I'm waiting. And I forgot to turn music on today. Sorry. But we're also on YouTube, so we have to watch what kind of music we listen to. And that is also happening on TikTok. Not this Friday, Saturday. Okay, Miss Rose. She is gifting to you. You know what you can do to practice this one? I love that, Lolly. I love it. Did it not take that one away? Oh, man. I was trying to get to stop that. Okay, Rose, you tell me. Bead soup or the bracelet? So I just need to change this to Miss Rose. There we go. So how you do that is you use just plain wire and do just a circle on both ends. And practice that way on some craft wire. Uh-oh, you need to tell me, Miss Rose, do you want the bracelet or the bead soup? Bead soup mix, it's truly a mix, or this bracelet. And if we don't get her here in a second, I'll message her after the live. Bracelet, you got it. I'll put it in your basket. I actually just moved the baskets downstairs because we do not have another silicone sale. All right, now to finish said bracelet, what you do now is you take the 6mm split ring, use the split ring tool, this one here, where you got that. You are going to open up that split ring by using that part that dangled down back just a little bit. You see how he's not right on the exact edge, but not too far back? Then you will take half of your toggle. We got to go a little bit further because we got to get over the edge off of the tool. So you see how that part is off of the tool? Go, there you go. And you're going to put the toggle on there, grab your pliers, and then spin it around, just like when you're going to put your key on a key ring, that you're just putting the toggle on there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our split ring, open that one up again. So we opened our split ring. See how he's just a little bit over there, the split ring right there. We are going to take the other end of the toggle and put that on there. And I didn't get him in there far enough, and he's bit off. So we're going to try that again. There we go. We got him on there. And then spin it around with a plier. Then you don't ruin your nails. On one end of your bracelet, you are going to open up that loop, take half of the closure and put that on. I didn't open it up far enough. Hold on. There we go. And then close it up. And you got to make sure that you're getting that closed back up so that you don't have any type of opening on that one. Hi, Emily. How are you? I'm doing good. So we got one half on. Now we're going to come to the other end, and we're going to open that up the same way. Open that closure, that loop, one way or another. Good. Good to hear. Do you have a long weekend then off? And then we are going to close that up after we got the other end of our closure on and make sure that there is no opening there. There we go. And then you can close it up. Now, I said I wanted to make this one a little bit longer than the other one that we made. We're going to go into more detail about this tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. Oh, I don't want that in the same spot. There we go. We want the close there. We don't want our closures to be on the front. We want them to be in the back. But now do you see why you have different links? Because guess what? We're going to talk about, nope, we did not. You can't use the looper on this one because the eye pin circle is not small and is smaller than the one-step looper circle. So we had to manually do these. So this circle here on the eye pin is smaller than the 1.5 millimeter, which is the smallest of the one-step looper. So yes, so it kind of stinks, but you can get it done. And that's just to keep your circles consistent on both sides. It's not a perfect circle the way we were teaching it, but it's close. So now, tomorrow, we're going to take these two bracelets and we're going to add to it. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central is we are going to do the layered by links tutorial. We're going to add to these two some stretchy bracelets and or some metal bracelets. We will do metal and we'll do stretchy. I just don't know which one we're going to do multiples of. So I will bring the examples. I'm not going to show you the examples because I want you to come tomorrow and see them and see what I mean by layered by links and what I'm talking about with that. Because if you're me, I'm betting these will just go on. Well, this one for sure will go on. This one will too. These bracelets are going to be bigger than my one here. So there's a reason why, if you don't have my size wrist, what this means. So look at that layered on there. This one fits me. These are too big. And so if I take this one off, how am I supposed to make the loop? On which one are you talking about, Andy? So like if we were to do this, there's a reason why we want that. All right, so I'm gonna take those off. I don't want to break them by going back over my wrist again. This one will go over my wrist. You know what? We just call it autocorrect, just changes what you're trying to type. But those are the two bracelets that we made today. How do you open it? So just like you would a jump ring, when you're opening that circle to add in your closure, it is just like as if you're opening a jump ring, where you will go in towards you or away from you. You don't open it this way. Yes. So how you do that, Joya, is while you are creating the circle, you open it and I just say you connect it, you put it through the hole, and then you put it down and you cut the length off. Okay, I cheat. So how I figured out where to put my line on my plier, I did not tell you guys that. So thanks for asking that question. This is my method. You guys can laugh at it. I took my head pin, or the eye pin, I mean, where the circle is at. I put it on here. This is on the wrong side, so let me go over on this side. Yeah, if you can. I don't know if you can do this. Do you see how that's on there? And then I took my marker and I made the black line across from it. And then I took it off and I made it all the way across. That's how I measured to be the same size. You guys can laugh at I don't know how else to do it. If you guys have ideas to do that better, please put them in the chat. But that's how I did it. So I literally just put it on here, got my Sharpie, drew a line, and then took it off and drew the line all the way across. So so for how I did these, Joya, I'll show you here on one because you weren't on for that. So let me show you. I was like, how are you going to show me that, Emily? I'm like over here going, I don't know how. Okay, so do that. You take your pliers, do on the very, very end, just there, where it's going to be wiggly wobbly, go 90 degrees away from you. Then you find the black line that we just put on there, and you 90 degrees, in that 90 degrees, you put it at 45, bring it around towards you, and then complete it, and then cut it off. Cut off your wire, the excess. That's on the, like, here's your wire. It's going to be this one that's away from you. And then it'll have a little hole opening here. You just take your pliers and push it down. Push it together. That was really quick, Joya. I hope that was okay. And my nose is itching really bad, everybody. I'm sorry. That's why I keep... Someone's having good thoughts about me. I was going to say, do you want to email it to me, Mandy? My email is info, I-N-F-O, at CarolJo's, CarolJo's.com. So that's how I made it. And that's how I was really taught how to do these types. Yep, you skipped the wrapping part. That is right. And then the one thing that we talked about, now let me show you with the orange here. Think about that for a necklace. Look at that for a necklace. So you can do this for a necklace. You can do it for the bracelet. Earrings, I usually leave it a little bit longer and then do a bead off of it. And then that bead that's at the bottom, I usually make it with a shiny bead so that it's got the shimmer type, the bling. So you got that. That bling. I'm not a bling person, but hey, I can make bling. So, all right. I'm going to put these back on here. I'm going to turn them around so that the clasps are not in the front. And tomorrow, we're going to figure out how to add more to this. Oh, cool. That's neat, Andy. All right. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, both on TikTok and YouTube, we're going to add to these layers, and we're going to do some more. Then we will also, tomorrow night, I have 25 or so of each style of the bracelet. Okay, I'll go look at that, Geraldine. So we are going to have like 20, and I'm only going to bring 2. I'm not bringing the metal in as a kit, but I will have about 20. They're not all the same. I have 5 different kits of this free spirit circle bracelet. I have different kits available in different colors of that. Then I will also have 5 kits that have multiples available of the stretchy bracelet that will go with those. And the way I grab the beads to make the kits is that pretty much they're interchangeable with each other. So you could get one kit of each and mix them in with something else, and you've got a bracelet layered set. So, and they pretty much, you can do any of the colors with each other. That took some thinking, everybody. It took me all day today to do those kits because I wanted it to be that if you couldn't get the first choice, you know, if you've got a different one, that they could try to intermix together. Some of them you might be, not really, but I tried my hardest to get those kits to match each other so that they're not the same colors all the time, but same, that you can do the layering and get a boho effect. So the kits, I will tell you, took me a little while to do. We have a whole bunch of pendants available. We'll have 2 different kinds of wire. We will have a necklace available. We will also have gems, or that what I call the natural beads, the semi-precious gemstones, crystals, whatever you want to call them, those natural beads. We have 5 different beads, and they will be in bags and in strands. Those beads are 6 millimeter. It was intentional that I brought 6 millimeters in with that and didn't go bigger. Because as you can see here, this one's bigger than the rest. That's what I'm going to say for those, is that I wouldn't go much more than like a 8x6 rondelle for this, or you're going to get really thick here. The trend is smaller for the layers. So stay on the smaller side of beads, like 6 millimeters, or maybe the 8x6 rondelles, or even 4 millimeter size beads. Don't go with like 8 and 10s, because that's not the style right now. The style is smaller beads, but layered. So I intentionally brought in 6 millimeter size beads so that you guys could think about how can I add in one of the, you know, the natural beads into this bracelet. And then we will have a lot of glass beads that are in those sizes of what we've learned here today. And you guys can also use those same beads to make this style of a necklace, you know, our chunky necklace like this. So we will have that available too. Where's my black and white one? I wonder what happened. There it is. You know, like how we have here, you can use those same beads with the boho coloring to create this same necklace. All right. It may not all be blingy like this. Oh, cool. Oh, go look. So that's why I want to say is that I'm trying to bring beads in right now of what we've been learning for the last couple of weeks, so that if you have the ideas, you can get the beads and then do more with it. But if there's something you guys want because you're needing it, you can always ask me and I will bring it to the shows. I will be bringing the eye pins to Friday night show. Like I said earlier, I think I said 22 bags are still up for grabs. Those of you that claimed, because we had those on last Friday's show, I will have the names. You can ask me if you can claim and then ask me if you did it. I will also be looking and asking, do you still want more? All right, because it doesn't take a lot to make these necklaces, or these bracelets, I mean. This is 15 on each one of these. So it didn't take a lot of head pins, and there's 50 in the bag. So just think about it from that aspect of what you need. And I will keep track and make sure and ask the question, because I don't want you to overbuy, because you guys have your budgets, and I'd like you to keep it within the budget. So that's what we have tomorrow night. And then Saturday at 10 a.m. we have charms. We're going to go through all the new charms first that are not state or initials. We'll get through those. Then we're going to go through the states, and then we will go through the initials. So that is the plan for tomorrow and for Saturday. I'm going to go to rest for a little bit, hang out with the family, going to go see what little Miss Buttercup is up to, because she wants to show me something. And I will be back here at 11 Central. And we're going to do the Layered by Links tutorial. That one isn't going to be a lot of like new things to show you, but I want to show you what you can use that we've had before and how we can build on it. So you all come back tomorrow, because I'm excited about tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Bye.